The chilling reality of plane crashes caused by bombings is a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for destruction. It's a subject that's as unsettling as it is complex, with layers of politics, security concerns, and human tragedy intertwined. In the course of human history, there have been instances where the skies, a symbol of freedom and exploration, have been turned into a canvas of terror. These are the stories of the deadliest plane crashes caused by bombings. Stories that echo the darkest corners of our society, where individuals, for reasons as varied as their methods, have chosen to inflict such horror. Consider Pan Am Flight 103 in 1988, a transatlantic flight that fell from the skies over Lockerbie, Scotland. Or Air India Flight 182 in 1985, which met its tragic end off the coast of Ireland. These incidents, and others like them, stand as chilling reminders of the lengths to which some will go to make a statement, exact revenge, or simply spread terror. In the following scenes we will delve into these cases and others, examining the year they happened, who was responsible for the bombings, how they managed to board the planes undetected, and the reasons behind their heinous acts. We will also explore the human cost, the lives lost, and the families forever scarred by these acts of violence. But this isn't just a recounting of historical events, it's a look at the human stories beneath the headlines. The victims and their families, the investigators who tirelessly sought justice, and even the perpetrators themselves, all have stories that need telling. Stories that remind us of the resilience, courage, and sadly, the fragility of human life. As we delve into these harrowing incidents, we aim to shed light on the human stories behind the headlines. In the annals of aviation disaster, few incidents evoke as much horror as the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. The year was 1988, a year that would forever be etched in the minds of those who lost their loved ones. The culprits? Libyan terrorists, operating under the cloak of anonymity, their motives as chilling as their actions. They sought retaliation against the United States, a vendetta born out of political hostility and carried out with ruthless efficiency. The method? A bomb, smuggled aboard the aircraft undetected, its deadly payload lying in wait. And the toll? 270 innocent lives extinguished in an instant, their dreams and aspirations lost amidst the wreckage. The devastation of Pan Am Flight 103 serves as a grim testament to the scale of destruction that can be wrought by a single act of terror. The bombing of Air India Flight 182 remains one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in aviation history. The year was 1985, a time of rising tensions and political unrest. The culprits were Sikh extremists, their act of terror a violent protest against the Indian government, which they believed was suppressing the rights and freedoms of the Sikh community. The extremists managed to infiltrate the security measures of the time, smuggling a bomb onto the plane undetected. Once airborne, the explosive device detonated, leading to the tragic deaths of all aboard. The number of lives lost that day reached an astounding 329, a mix of innocent passengers and crew members. This act of terror was not just an attack on a plane, it was an attack on peace, on innocence, and on humanity itself. The loss of life on Air India Flight 182 underscores the far-reaching implications of political unrest. The bombing of Korean Air Flight 858 is a chilling reminder of the geopolitical tensions of the Cold War era. In the year 1987, the world was shocked by the news of the bombing. The culprits behind this horrifying act were agents from North Korea. Their motives were rooted in an attempt to intimidate and disrupt the democratic processes of South Korea. The agents managed to get on board undetected, planting a bomb that would later claim the lives of all on board. The casualty count was a staggering 115, all innocent lives lost in a moment of violent political disruption. The disaster of Korean Air Flight 858 highlights the deadly potential of state-sponsored terrorism. Two separate incidents, UTA Flight 772 and Cubana Flight 455, underscore the global scope of aviation terrorism. Let's first turn our attention to UTA Flight 772. It was the year 1989 when this French airliner, en route from Brazzaville in the People's Republic of Congo to Paris, was brought down over Niger in the Sahara Desert. Tragically, there were no survivors, with the casualty count totaling 170. Who was responsible for this horrific act? Investigations led to the doorstep of Libyan intelligence. The motive? Retaliation against France for their support of Chad in a conflict against Libya. Now, let's travel back a little further to 1976. Cubana Flight 455 was just minutes into its journey from Barbados to Jamaica when two bombs detonated, causing the plane to plummet into the Caribbean Sea. All 73 people on board perished. The culprits behind this act of terror were anti-Castro militants. Their motive was clear: a violent opposition to Cuba's communist government. These incidents serve as a grim reminder that no region is immune to the threat of aviation terrorism. Each of these cases represents a moment in history where human lives were tragically lost due to acts of terror. To fully grasp the enormity of this issue, we must revisit these shattering incidents. Pan Am Flight 103, Air India Flight 182, Korean Air Flight 858, UTA Flight 772, and Cubana Flight 455. These are not just flight numbers, they are stark reminders of the indelible scars left on humanity. These bombings were not random acts of violence, they were meticulously planned and executed, highlighting the chilling reality of how far some are willing to go to propagate fear and chaos. The culprits, driven by misguided ideologies, infiltrated the security systems of the time, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. The loss of life in these incidents is staggering. Thousands of people, each with their own dreams, ambitions, and loved ones, were suddenly and violently ripped away. The ripple effects of such tragedies extend far beyond the immediate victims. Families, communities, and nations are left to grapple with the pain of their absence. But these events also underscore the importance of stringent security measures. In their aftermath, airports worldwide have tightened their checks, developed advanced technology, and trained personnel to detect threats more effectively. While we can't change the past, we can certainly learn from it. Moreover, these incidents underline the necessity of global cooperation